Hello all. Before we begin the video, let's discuss CloudFoundation. CloudFoundation is the premier online training platform to help individuals and organizations gain knowledge and skills in the ever-growing cloud computing industry.
So here, start from line number 44 to 46, it's going to be start step, create birth rate plan. So here, in this step, I have clearly mentioned AD access needs to be granted. Whenever employee is going to join, we have to grant them AD account access. Like I have written some provisioning plan. I hope you guys are familiar with what is provisioning plan. If end user is going to submit access request, the provisioning plan will be generated automatically. And the identity request initialize workflow is responsible for compile all the provisioning plan into provisioning project when the end user is going to request multiple items. But here we have to write our own provisioning plan. So inside this provisioning plan, I'm going to add domain computers entitlement, domain user entitlement, and we have one condition. If inactive is not equal to true, then only the account will get created, or else it will skip, or else the else condition will get executed. So once the project compiled, transition to compile project. So what will happen? So this is going to be the compile project. So once the project has been compiled, it will transition to provision step, which means directly it will go to provision. Okay. So now let me launch Active Directory application. I will open HR application. I'll demonstrate. So if I'm going to update new user details in the HR system, what will happen? Okay, let it launch. Meanwhile, once again, I will clearly write over here so that you will understand. Can somebody explain how the joiner process is going to happen? How the employee onboarding will happen in real-time project? Quickly.
So interview attend.
Yeah.
Offer provide.
Right. Offer, you got the offer letter.
So at the HR, I mean, they will share that URL to enter all our personal detail.
Correct. User info updated in the HR portal, correct?
HR portal.
Next.
And they will, once they join, they will be provided like basic access, like Outlook.
Yeah, I have a question. As you said, basic access will be provided. How come? Who is going to provide that access? Is your manager is going to submit your ticket to grant the access?
So the Outlook, and then like in any organization, Outlook, Teams, and like ServiceNow, Workday. These are all these should be given by default before they join to any team. Okay. So after they join to any team, based on their team need, they will be accessing other application access or other stuff.
Correct.
So basically, they will be getting by default Outlook, ServiceNow, and then Workday, Teams.
Yes. So here I would like to clarify one thing. We are saying the access will be granted, but either it should be automated job or it could be manual task.
Yeah, correct? It should be automated.
Someone has to create your account in Teams or some access permission. I would say some privileges is going to be provided to your user profile so that you can chat in the Teams. You can access WebEx or Zoom. You can access your Outlook. Office 365 license has to be provided, or else some issue will come. A lot of things are there. So this is out of your project. Maybe you're working in a service-based company. You're working for your client. Then in that scenario, from your client standpoint also, you will get a lot of access. So whatever access it could be. So once we have a list of access which needs to be provided before joining an employee, we can write a workflow. We can configure that workflow into the event, and whenever the event is going to trigger, all of his access will be granted. So user info updated in the HR portal, that's fine. After that, HR account aggregation will happen in Sailpoint, correct? So that Sailpoint will come to know, okay, new identity got created, correct? Identity creation will happen in Sailpoint. So once identity got created, what will happen? So we have a task called refresh identity queue. So that task is responsible to trigger all kind of event, and once in a day, the task will get executed. So once the identity got created, which means definitely it's going to be refreshed within next 24 hours. We are not sure at what time, but definitely the identity is going to be refreshed. So refresh identity will happen via the task. Once the identity got refreshed, all event will get triggered. So basically the identity got created means joiner event is going to trigger. Event triggered.
Is it an automated step?
Exactly. It's automated. It's automated. Yes. So it's an automated step. So once the event got triggered, so workflow will be launched. In the workflow, already we have mentioned we have to grant Office access, we have to grant Office 365, ServiceNow, blah, blah, blah. All the access will be granted. Basically, provision will happen in the workflow launch, the workflow, once the workflow has been launched. So after that, access will be granted. And it will update in the user profile. It's a user profile or identity queue. So both are same. From Sailpoint, we will call it as identity queue. So this is how the joiner event is going to trigger. Now, so guys, pay attention. I'll trigger one event called joiner. So you have to trigger lever and mover from your end. Okay, so the application got launched. So now we will imagine new employee is going to join. So we have a HR portal called the spreadsheet. So we will update. As an HR, we will update the user info in the HR portal. So open the feed file or the employees. New employee information I'm updating here. Guys, I have a question. So here we are updating all the details manually, like user ID, first name, last name, manager. So if you know, we can update. So it's a legacy process. Like in the last decade, we used to update everything manually. But now we have Sailpoint, like it's an automated tool, right? And advanced tool. So if you want to trigger this email ID, like for each and every user, email should get triggered. Email ID should created automatically. The employee information, like employee ID should get generated automatically. Can we do that? Can we achieve that?
I don't think so.
Okay, so let me clarify that. Email ID can be created by Sailpoint.
Right.
Okay. And this employee ID, always it will be taken care by HR people. So no need to worry about that. But if they want us to take care of this activity from Sailpoint, yeah, we can do that. Okay. So the username is Suresh. Ready. So manager, it's going to be SP admin. Suresh. Yeah. So Suresh belongs to finance team. Asia Pacific, Austin location. Active should be false. So we have updated new user information here, right? So now, how come the identity is going to create in Sailpoint? To create this identity in Sailpoint, what should we do?
Account aggregation.
Okay. So this aggregation is an automated task, right? We are not going to execute this task on a daily basis. It's an automated task. But in our demo, we are going to execute it manually. So the task will get executed automatically.
So if once in a day it will run, or based on the
Exactly.
company?
So sometimes I have seen twice in a day, it will get executed.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
See, here it's creating Suresh Reddy identity.
This is kind of joiner, right?
Yes, yes. We are performing joiner event. So the account aggregation got completed. Once again, I'm saying it's an automated task in real-time corporate environment. So HR people updated in their system. Now Sailpoint aggregated those data into Sailpoint and one identity got created called Suresh Reddy. So now go to identity warehouse and validate. So the identity got created here. First name, last name, all the values got updated. Even manager field also. Manager field not updated. But I couldn't see any of these event got triggered. Why? No events, which means events has not triggered yet.
Execute some refresh task.
Exactly. So if I'm going to refresh this identity, event will get triggered. I agree on that. But how come? How come Sailpoint knows, okay, but this identity got created and we have to trigger an event and we have to launch the workflow? See, open the same identity. Here you could see from line number 13 to 23, we have an item called trigger snapshot, the entry key. So if the trigger snapshot is available, then only the event will get triggered. If there is no trigger snapshot, then event won't get triggered. Which means whenever the aggregation has been executed for this identity, so some trigger snapshot has been added in the user profile. So let me take a snapshot. Once I refresh the identity, the trigger snapshot will be removed and event will get triggered. So basically what I'm trying to say, event will be triggered based on this trigger snapshot as well, which means it's a key point to execute that event. So I took a snap for this identity. So now we are going to refresh this identity. Okay. So in real-time environment, if I want to, basically the refresh identity queue task will execute for all the identities, then it's fine. But I want to refresh only for one identity. So what I'm going to do, so I will choose refresh ID custom. So this time I'm not going to use name equal Davis. Instead of that, I'm going to use this ID value. You can fetch this ID value from here. Just mention ID double equal and mention the ID value.
And finally, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel.